Hi there and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Ali McCoist wowed by 25-year-old Arsenal player. Arsenal fell to a lacklustre 2-0 loss to West Ham on Thursday night, but while some Gunners players stung the place out, others emerged with some credit. For instance, Gunners captain Martin Odegaard could hold his head up high with a decent performance in the Premier League loss at the Emirates Stadium. The Arsenal midfield began brightly and was superb in the first half, creating a number of chances that should have really led to at least one goal. Admittedly, Odegaard did become more sloppy and wasteful as the game went on. Nevertheless, he still plugged away in pursuit of at least a consolation from his teammates. Midway through the second half, the 25-year-old slipped the ball through to the overlapping Ben White, who crossed for Gabriel Jesus. However, the forward had it over from close range. Ali McCoist, commentating on Amazon Prime Video, loved what he saw from Odegaard, though he wasn't happy with Jesus' final touch. He said, "That pass from Odegaard is magic to watch. White hangs it up at the back, post well, and sorry, he has to be scoring there as well. Just had it on target, and it's a goal. Massive chance again." Odegaard was very much the best of a bad bunch as Arsenal struggled against a well-drilled West Ham side. Indeed, the Hammers could have made it 3-0 in the second half injury time, but David Raya managed to spare further Arsenal blushes by saving Said Ben Rahma's penalty. The Gunners will seek to make amends this weekend when they head to Fulham in Sunday's kick-off, their final game of 2023. Then, the January transfer window arrives at a good time for Arsenal, who will have the chance to try to strengthen their ranks in hope of maintaining a Premier League title push. Sky Pundit says Arsenal top player was really off the pace against West Ham. Arsenal defender Zinchenko delivered a below-par performance in the Gunners' 2-0 Premier League loss to West Ham on Thursday night. The Arsenal man has made a number of mistakes in recent weeks, and defensive lapses ended up costing the Gunners in their meeting with the Hammers. An Emerson Palmieri cross to the back post led to a mix-up between Zinchenko and Gabriel Magalhaes, which resulted in the ball not being cleared properly. Jared Bowen was able to keep the ball from going out of play and pulling it back for Thomas Susek to slam home in the 13th minute. Zinchenko then lost Mavropanos for West Ham's second, which the former Arsenal man had it home from James Ward-Prowse's pinpoint corner kick. The 26-year-old also didn't manage to do much when tucking into midfield, and his tackles when asked to defend weren't particularly great. Zinchenko and Gabriel Martinelli subsequently made way for Reece Nelson and Edin Ketaya in the 63rd minute of the game. Bothroyd said on Sky Sports News after the substitution the following: "Zinchenko, I think he is a top player, but he was awful. He was defending poorly, didn't create anything, didn't get on the ball." Mikel Arteta needs to think carefully about potentially bolstering the Arsenal left-back slot in the January transfer window. Zinchenko is struggling for form. The jury remains out on Jakub Kiwior, and Takehiro Tomiyasu is on the sidelines and set for the Asian Cup. Arsenal don't yet look like the finished product. A new striker will surely be on the Gunners' agenda too, perhaps someone who is more clinical in front of goal and can be the team's focal point in attack. Mikel Arteta says he found one thing incredible during Arsenal versus West Ham. Mikel Arteta has been speaking about Arsenal's defeat to West Ham last night and lamented his side's inability to put the ball in the net. The Gunners created plenty of openings but never really troubled the score sheet, as Alphonse Areola had little to do in the way of big saves. For Arteta, it was a frustrating element to what was otherwise a decent enough performance. Arsenal did fail to defend the Hammers on two key occasions, which cost them the game, but in the main, they did what their manager wanted. However, Arteta admitted he was stunned that his side didn't take a single one of their chances, speaking about his side's performance and lack of finishing when it mattered. Arteta said he found it incredible his team didn't score. He said, "There were big situations that is incredible that we don't put it in the net or that they did really well blocking certain shots. Sometimes we didn't pick the right pass or the centimeters of the smallest spaces in the box. There was a combination of all, but again, I have to praise the players because they tried and they kept trying right up until the end. If they will continue to play like that, it's very unlikely that it will happen again. I just told them, listen, we are disappointed we lost at home. We have to go now to Fulham and play better if possible than today and win the game, and that's it." Juventus now considering signing £12 million Arsenal player next summer. Italian side Juventus are now interested in signing one of Mikel Arteta's most trusted Arsenal players on a free transfer next summer. With the January transfer window just around the corner, a lot of Arsenal's attention has been pointed to those who may arrive. However, as we've often seen in the past, Juventus are already planning some clever free transfers when certain contracts expire next summer. The Italian giants consistently manage to sign some of Europe's most experienced players on free deals each year, and Arsenal's Jorginho may be the next. According to journalist Rudy Galati, Juventus are now aware of the opportunity to sign the Arsenal midfielder next summer. Sharing his update on X, the journalist initially discussed two other options Juventus were also considering from the Premier League. Galati said, Juventus are still looking for a new midfielder. Højbjerg, out of Tottenham's plans, is at the top of the list. Calvin Phillips remains a very complicated option, both due to request of Man City and his high wage. Jorginho is an opportunity in the summer as a free agent. It's generally hoped among Arsenal fans that Jorginho would sign a new deal with the club. However, this update may change the situation, with many midfielders expected to leave Mikel Arteta's squad next summer. Jorginho could be a useful face to keep around. Thomas Partey is constantly linked with an exit, a player whose Arsenal career has almost now been ruined by injuries over the last 12 months or so. Moreover, it's also thought that Mohamed El-Nini will depart the club when his contract expires in June. So whilst Arsenal do seem likely to make a midfield addition, perhaps a move for Douglas Luiz will be rekindled. £12 million Jorginho could be useful to keep around. The club may not want to sign two or three midfielders in the same window. It could disrupt their plans elsewhere. And if Juventus do step up their plans to sign the Arsenal midfielder next summer, it could be a worry for Arteta. Arsenal now want to sign £68 million defender. Arsenal have been linked with a move to sign Bayern München defender Matthias de Ligt, a player Nathan Ake once compared to Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk. The Gunners have several names on their transfer shortlist, but not every one of them is attainable in the January transfer window. De Ligt has been linked this week, but he is more likely to be considered at the end of the season. Arsenal are very short at the back. Mikel Arteta said as much after using Declan Rice as a centre half in the Champions League game against PSV Eindhoven earlier this month. The Gunners are expected to be active in the January transfer window, and if a good opportunity arises, they could make a move to bring in a new player or two. The Athletic revealed this week that Matthias de Ligt is a long-term target for Arsenal. Sport Bild add that a move in January is not a possibility, but Arteta and co want to monitor the £68 million Dutchman situation until the summer and then consider if they want to bid for him. Matthias de Ligt is a very good defender, there is no debate there, but Arsenal don't really need him, do they? The Gunners already have Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba, and both of them are undisputed starters. They have been incredible for Mikel Arteta since the beginning of last season, and there is just no need to change anything there. If Arsenal are to sign de Ligt, He will cost a lot of money and would want to be a regular starter. That's just not going to happen unless Saliba or Gabriel decide to leave. Thierry Henry says he's been blown away by a brilliant £40 million striker Arsenal want to sign in January. Arsenal legend Thierry Henry has had his say on Bournemouth striker Dominic Solanke amid claims the Gunners want to sign him in January. Mikel Arteta's men were dominant on the ball against West Ham United last night, but still ended up on the losing side. The biggest concern, once again, was lack of goals, and fans are calling for a new striker. When the window opens, Solanke has been heavily linked. Arsenal should really consider signing a new striker in January, and Dominic Solanke is among the names linked with a move to the Emirates. The Daily Star revealed this month that the Gunners are interested in the Bournemouth centre forward, who is having a fantastic season in the Premier League. Solanke, who Bournemouth rejected a £40 million bid for in the summer, has scored 13 times for the Cherries in all competitions this season. He has been fantastic, so much so that he has caught Thierry Henry's eye. The legendary Frenchman, who knows a thing or two about goal scoring, has claimed that he has been blown away by Solanke's performances this season. When asked to name a player who has impressed him in the Premier League, Henry said on Amazon Prime Video Sport, as quoted by the Metro, the following: Dominique Solanke, the way he is playing at Bournemouth, not only him, the team is doing extremely well, but we have been waiting for him to be that player. I guess it was a bit too much when he was younger, but what he is doing right now is brilliant. I'm happy for him because he did struggles for a little bit. Now he is looking good. Last night's defeat against West Ham United showed once again how desperately Arsenal need a new striker. Solanke is not the big name Arsenal fans are looking for, but he has shown this season that he is capable of scoring consistently in the Premier League. The striker will add a different dimension to Arsenal's attack if they can sign him next month, and that could make a big difference in the title race. Sky Sports journalist says Brandford may have changed their mind over Ivan Toney's future. Ivan Toney's future is a hot topic ahead of January, a player chased by the likes of both Arsenal and their rivals, Tottenham Hotspur, and as Toney nears a return for Brentford, it seems there may have been a slight change in the club's stance over his future. It's long been thought that Brentford would resist any sale, demanding a very high fee for Toney. However, with both Arsenal and Tottenham said to have considerable interest in Toney, ahead of January and next summer, it seems they may be handed some good news. Sky Sports journalist Darmish Sheth has recently been discussing the situation on the Transfer Talk podcast, and although he does expect Tony to stay at Brentford until at least the summer, he admitted that the club are increasingly aware of their weak bargaining position. Sheth thought that Tony's feeling of loyalty would make him happy to stay for now. However, his further comment may prove that the door is still open for Arsenal and Tottenham to pursue Tony in January. Sheth said the following: a couple of months ago, the information we were getting was that Brentford would only be selling Ivan Toney if you are talking a fee in excess of £100 million. Now, is a club going to pay £100 million in January? £100 million at any other time of the year? Yes, I know a couple of clubs have done that. Arsenal have done that themselves. It's whether they would do that for a player like Ivan Toney, and whether Ivan Toney maybe feels a degree of loyalty to Brentford because of the ban. They have stood by him. He's been back training with them. He is back in action come the middle of January, so Brentford will be expecting him to stay. But some of the noises coming out of Brentford now look like they are not ruling out a sale, but they are saying it would require a decent fee. I just wonder whether they are talking in that way simply because they are conceding that Ivan Toney probably isn't going to sign a new contract at Brentford. He is only got 18 months left on his deal. Now, if he stays the next window that he could potentially leave in the summer, How much would his value have gone down by the summer because he is entering the last year of his contract? He is going to be 6 months away from being able to sign a pre contract agreement with a club outside England and a further 6 months away from being able to leave for free, full stop. Do I think he will leave? I think he will probably stay until at least the summer. Although one pundit thinks it would be a mistake for Ivan Toney to leave in January, perhaps a deal could be possible. It's certainly going to be an interesting situation to watch unfold. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.